I think there's 5 super important skills for anybody, but if you're an entrepreneur or if you want to be really successful, number 1 is communication. Then project management and general organization. Definitely need to know marketing.
How do you think your schooling and how you were brought up and the school system that you went through has helped you to become a successful entrepreneur?
Most of the skills I'd say that I learnt to what I do now happened outside of school. I went to a private school, but in terms of how did school prepare me for, what I'm doing now, obviously it taught me to read and write and count. In terms of the things that we learnt, I'm not using anything from, science, history, apart from general knowledge for what I'm doing now. What I learnt for me, I actually learnt working after school, learning on the job.
Phil, welcome to Parenting Without the Manual podcast. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, he was asking me what we're going to go through, Dan.
Exactly.
Look, right now, you're an entrepreneurial parent. Okay, so you moved from the UK to Dubai. You've got a good-sized business. Your wife's in business, got her own business as well. So you're an entrepreneurial parent group.
Family.
Yeah, family. Yeah. And you've got 2 kids. How old are your kids?
4 and 2. And
then you also do a load of stuff within, like one of your businesses is within the sort of whole kids arena and setting up play areas for kids, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you've got a lot of insights into that. So I guess what I want to ask you is a couple of things. Number 1, how do you think your schooling and how you were brought up and the school system that you went through has helped you to become a successful entrepreneur? Because I think that's what you are, and being able to move and locate yourself in the UAE and set up a life the way you've got it. I was about to say with drivers and maids and all shake Phil, right? But in reality, look, you're living a life that most people can't. And we actually met through personal development group. So you're obviously investing in your own personal development. But I want to understand how you felt your schooling system and your childhood shaped you, and then what skills you learn outside of that you think were really important in shaping you that maybe aren't available in schools that should be in schools. So a bit of both.
Yeah. So I went to a private school. Obviously the education level there was, very good.
Yep.
But in terms of how did school prepare me for, what I'm doing now, obviously it taught me to read and write.
Yeah.
And count.
Yep.
But most of the skills I'd say that I learnt to what I do now happened outside of school.
Okay.
Obviously, communication, dealing with people,
Yep.
that was all part of, social interaction. That was part of school. In terms of the things that we learnt, I'm not using anything from, science, history in terms of apart from general knowledge. For what I'm doing now. What I learnt for me, I actually learnt working after school in different sort of industries and jobs. So I worked in a gym. That really opened up my communication level to very different types of people and learning how to deal with them, even dealing with like confrontation. That's where I sort of started to learn sales. I think sort of communication skills, sales skills started to come from there. And then, just from working life, learning on the job is where I'd say I've learned sort of the most. When I came here and started doing what I'm doing now, which is running the company that I've got with my business partner, actually meeting him was another level of my education.
Okay.
So he's 21 years older than me. Yeah, he's been my mentor. So that's what I say really helped me and really developed me further in my sort of career, because I learned a lot from him: project management, construction, sales as well. So mentorship was a very big part of my, I would say, development. And then in COVID, this is where, we were sort of locked up, couldn't go out. And that's where my self-development sort of drive for self-development really started. And that's where I started to really learn more about money, finances, investment.
And how did you do that? Was it like online courses, or was it just podcasts, or what?
YouTube. I call it YouTube University.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, just learning from the likes of Robert Kiyosaki. That's where it started. But it wasn't Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I have read that book a really long time ago, but at the time when I read it, it didn't really click. I didn't really understand it. Probably it was maybe like 6-7 years later, once I was in a business, managing a business, scaling and growing a business, that's when I started to sort of understand it. And the book that I started with was called, what was it called? Something about, I forgot the name, but I know exactly what it's about. Fake Money, Fake Assets, Fake Teachers. Really good book. Really, it puts a lot together, but it really explained about, like, you've got to take advice from people that are doing it and have done it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Not just, people that talk about it, or you've got to take and learn from people that have done it. And that's, again, where sort of things went back to my business partner, him taking me under his wing, training me, teaching me. So yeah, and then from there, just sort of, it talked about investment. And at that time must have been, how long was COVID ago? 6 years?
No,
Yeah.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been about 31. I'm thinking, I'm 31. I've got no, investments. I don't know anything about this. And then that's where I really started to learn about money and, how it works, what to do with it when you've got it, saving, investing, allocating, etc. And then from there, it's just sort of spiraled. Then I started hearing Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, and then I actually introduced Grant Cardone sales training into our company.
Okay, great.
And there was a lot of, he's got a lot of modules on everything from sales to management to marketing. So then we started really learning from him all of that information and applying it. So,
and you did well out of it, didn't you? Because you had a lot of growth.
Yeah.
So interesting what you said. So I guess mentorship, nearly maybe by chance, I don't know, having an older business partner that could teach you is what opened your eyes up to personal development, right? And mentoring. It's interesting what you said about fake money, fake teachers, or sort of like learning from the people that have done it, because I think you can't take health advice from somebody who's overweight or unhealthy. You can't take relationship advice, or you shouldn't take relationship advice from somebody who's single, not in a successful relationship, and you shouldn't take financial advice from somebody who's not financially well off and knows how to manage it, right? And yet, unfortunately, there's a lot of people, and you talk about YouTube University, I think that's great, because the reality is, and kudos to you, that we have access to these free resources like YouTube. The problem is, it's a bit like Google. Whatever you search for, you're going to find. So if you're searching for something positive and you want to learn and develop yourself, you can find that positive stuff. But also, if you start going down a rabbit hole for some negative stuff, you're going to find all that stuff and poison your brain with a lot of nonsense as well. So the good news is you've gone on the search for what's empowering.
No, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's finding something that's going to empower you, make you feel good, help you to also understand yourself. Because do you know what I mean? It's like we're all born with, a brain, feelings, and you don't always understand how to make it work or work out what it is that you're feeling and which way to direct it. So it's always good to, see other people doing it or hear what they're doing. And
it's interesting when you say things like that. It's like it being emotionally intelligent. Yeah. I don't know if you're inherently like that. I've had a couple of people on the podcast already, and emotional intelligence is a big thing. I don't think it's taught in entrepreneurialism enough. I think it is prevalent in leadership, right? If you're a leader, you have to understand emotional intelligence to be able to relate to and lead so many people. But where do you think emotional intelligence came? Where do you think you became aware about emotional intelligence? Is that more natural? Is it from your mentor? Or is it,
I think it comes with experience and, and being in situations and understanding what those situations are. And then after reflecting onto those situations, because, there was loads of situations when I was much younger and I totally handled them, not in a way that I would handle them now.
Yeah.
And having patience is a really big one. It's taken me a long time to learn it.
Yeah,
I'd say I'm still learning it. With people, especially with kids as well, right? So it's it's a journey, I think, and I think it just comes with age and experience.
So with everything now, so you're running your business and your wife's running her business. How do you look at like parenting now with your two kids? Are you conscious of things that you want them to see, experience, feel? Like, what's your mindset? You know, do you want to model how you grew up and like your like how you were with your parents and that schooling system, or are you thinking something different? Is there key things you kind of want to implement with them now? Are you looking at, or are you just kind of, you know?
Well, my growing up was with a single mother.
Yep.
My mum's a doctor. You know, she did everything she could for me. We actually moved countries. I was actually born in Russia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, moved to the UK. She moved to the UK and then took her with me. So obviously, what I've got now with my wife, we've got both of us.
Yeah.
So I think they get, you know,
The best of both worlds.
the best of both worlds. You know, we're grown up with a single parent. You know, they've got to try and be both, but they can't be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One way leans more towards who they actually are as a person. So, so in terms of, you know, how we're raising them, my wife, I'll be honest with you, she does a lot more. She's a superwoman. I sometimes actually wonder, like, how does she do everything that she does? Because she's got 3 companies as well.
Yeah.
Well, she's got 2, and then one that she's setting up at the moment.
Yeah.
So you know, I always wonder, how does she achieve it all? So I always take her. I'm learning from her. I'm learning from her how to do that. And we want to. I think they're a little bit young for what I would, or what I'm planning to do with them.
Yeah.
To teach them what I know. Like, if I knew what I know now in my 20s, I could even say that a lot of this you can start going back to even, you know, like teens. A lot of this you could start teaching in when they're teenager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I knew, I'd be so much further ahead.
Yeah.
So much
So
much further
that's
ahead.
what I'm really asking you. What do you want them to know that would? Are you thinking, right, I'd be so much further ahead? How can I give that wisdom to them? Again, and the world is changing as well. So again, knowing now, if you like, you know, if you're talking to a 15-year-old version of you, today is probably very different to what it was when you were 15.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They didn't have TVs and but you get, you know, we're in a different world. So what is it that you're thinking you need to teach your kids, you know, and when, because I mean, on my research, when I first became a parent, the age up until about 7, 8 are the most powerful years that shape the kids' identity and confidence and foundations.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've done the same, if you know that as well.
No, well, I could imagine it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think after
makes
the
sense, I think.
after the age of 8 or so, they're more kind of set in their foundation. Supposedly, I mean, there's probably different research. There's different things, but yeah. So what is it you're thinking of teaching them that would be different? You know, or like you know, like what are the key things? Even not different. What are the key things that you think are important that is a must for them?
So what I wouldn't say things. I would say skills.
Yep.
And I think there's 5 super important skills for anybody. But if you're an entrepreneur or if you want to be really successful, number 1 is communication.
Yeah.
I think communication is the most important skill that you have to have. Like use of language, power over language, persuasion, understanding, you know, what people are actually even saying to you, listening.
Yeah.
So I think communication is extremely important, and the confidence that comes with communication. So I think the two come together, intertwined. Because before, I would hate places where you'd have to do small talk, because my small talk game was terrible, and I would shy away from going. So then I'd always go with my wife and then stand next to her. Seriously. So when I was a kid, I used to even kind of get this had a shyness about me, because I just didn't have the chat, didn't have the some people gift of the gab.
Yeah.
I would envy people out that just be able to just go and talk. So I think communication is super, super important, and that then obviously translates into sales, right? Because sales skills are everything in life is sales, right? So
a lot in business. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
well, that's where it starts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's where it starts. So communication, then I would say project management and general organization, knowing what goes next after what, understanding, like going from A to Z, not starting at, M and then going backwards, because I've done that. I've been there. Sometimes still even do it, but
Yeah.
at least knowing that process, and you can apply that then to, almost anything. Especially then once you learn an industry and learn industry knowledge, that's where it becomes, rocket fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
To being successful, and just generally running and setting up projects or in anything.
Yeah, yeah.
After that, I would say you definitely need to know marketing. And at a young age now, like you need to teach kids about social media. They need to know how to use it.
Yeah.
Because it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
They need to know what they see on it.
Yeah.
And how do they react to it? What do they need to avoid? Especially like all this, like if there's online bullying or something like that.
Yeah.
So they need to get, they need to know the internet. They need to know social media, all these platforms that keep coming out, what to share on it, what not to share on it, how to share it, how to get more engagement, because then that will translate into
business.
Business.
I think that, I was talking to someone the other day, and when I was growing up, so I'm 48 this year, right? So we're going back now over 30 years. When I was growing up, I sound like my parents. When I was younger, so I was taught go into becoming a lawyer or an accountant.
Yeah.
That's who makes money. And it was always, how do you become successful, become a lawyer or an accountant? I became an entrepreneur. And who knew that, entrepreneurs are generally way more successful and you can become an entrepreneur in anything. But in today's market, you compare that to a YouTuber or an Instagram influencer that literally lives a life of freedom and prints money and can launch multiple businesses. I mean, I think Mr. Beast is someone who, as a young guy who started off on YouTube a few years ago, and I mean, now he's launching all different businesses because he has the following and he understands how to get attention and he understands how to market. And he's building like a multi-billion-dollar empire.
Communication, project management,
sales,
right?
Yeah. And you're 100% right. I mean, these are the underpinnings. So, and I think they're life skills. I mean, we could argue they're business skills, but they're life skills, aren't they? I mean, if you want to get into a relationship, you've got to be able to sell yourself. You've got to have good communication, right, to stay in a relationship, and just managing your life as well. So I think you're 100% right. So what's your plan to do that with your kids, and at what point do you introduce it to them? At what point do you think, right, I need to start easing these guys in, or
Well, communication, I think it's like right now, right? Just got to speak to them more, get them, read to them, get them to read books themselves. Like my daughter's starting to she just comes in and starts reading book. I'm like, whoa, when did that happen?
Yeah.
So it's obviously they all have their own place, and obviously the way you approach it needs to be age appropriate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't go, bang, here's a marketing book. How do we do Google ads? Let's learn this month. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's got to be approached in the right way. So
do you ever look if there's like marketing books for kids or stuff like that?
I haven't yet, because they're at that age. But I think from like 7 years old, I think 7, 8 years old, I think is when you can start, bringing that in. Another thing is I'm definitely going to take them to work with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on weekends or holidays, I'll take them to work. I'll get them to sit there, watch it, see what's happening. In all sorts of meetings.
But
good ones and bad ones.
But they're going to learn both ways, right? It's all a learning curve, because listen, life's not going to be just plain sailing. There's going to be ups and downs. Go on.
Sorry, like if you look at Grant Cardone, he's been taking his daughters with him, and one of his daughters now, I think Sabrina, she's very active on the social media space. She's like handling objections on phone calls, booking tickets. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look at what was the Money Kicks? He's a local lad here. He had the first trainer shop.
Okay.
He's like an influencer here as well. I think he opened a sneaker shop, but like limited edition sneakers at 13 years old.
Yeah. He was 13 when he did it, yeah?
I'm pretty sure he was 13, yeah.
Amazing.
No, I think he's like in his maybe mid-20s.
I mean, we're in a different world
But
today,
it's-
and
yeah.
the kids and they're learning so much faster as well, and their capability to digest things. But I think that definitely marketing is a skill that kids could learn younger. It doesn't have to be at college and university. It can be way, way, way before then. I think it's an important skill. When I think about communication, look, I've invested a lot into personal development, and it's been a priority for me for many years. And I've had mentors. Again, when I like being in network marketing, I had a mentor. Prior to that, when you're a small, medium-sized business owner, you got no. I don't know if it's more common now, but when I was growing up, the idea of a mentor, I don't even know, like, we was just never used. Like, you know, now I think it's such an important thing to have because I've had it and I see the impact,
crazy
right?
important.
And there's a lot of people who have been successful that have had mentors, but I don't think a mentor is a common thing. And again, when it becomes like commercialized, it loses the real meaning because a mentor is just someone sometimes a bit older than you, or it's not the true meaning of what you and I would call mentor, which is someone who's really walked the path. It's essentially another teacher called a mentor, you know, but they've not necessarily achieved, right? But because of all of that, I've really worked on my language. And where I'm in this child education space at the minute, lots of stuff is popping up on my social media about child education. I'm seeing all these like angry parents, like the images of parents shouting at their kids because, you know, it can be tough being a parent sometimes, but I was always very conscious because of the stuff that I've learned about the language in which I use. And it was always, if I'm not happy about something, how do I still empower the good thing rather than tear down and say no? Because if you think, how many times, I read this study, I forget the exact numbers, where parents say no to a child X amount of times throughout a day, or they're told no by the parents and teachers. So their whole, like, a large part of their life as a child is like, no, because it's like, no, can't get it. No, you can't do this. No, you can't. And it's like stop signs everywhere.
Yeah.
And think how limiting that is on what is really an abundant nature as a child, right?
100%.
And I think that we have to nurture that. And again, your kids are now in school? Like is the 4-year-old in?
So Lily, she's 4. She's actually going to be 5. She's in school.
Yeah.
This is a second year in school. Leo is not yet in school.
But he will be.
He's on a bit of a weird. He was born like September 1, so there's a bit of a like a.
Yeah. So
My wife gets it, but he's got one more year, I think.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, and I think that sometimes the schooling system, again, not on purpose, but more just by default of the large amount of people they've got and trying to manage it all. They've got teachers, not mentors. Yeah, so that there is a difference because teachers are doing a job at the end of the day. Is it really something they've achieved? Is it really something, you know, they understand? You know, is it done with passion? You know, but also sometimes that big energy of a child is suppressed because they need conformity. They need move to this class, be here at this time, sit there, don't move. You know, be quiet while we talk to you. And I don't know how conducive that is. I think there's some important skills. But I think there's a lot that's being missed and a lot that's being suppressed within kids' potential.
Well, 100%. It depends on who in that education facility is their, teacher, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of my cousin. She, this is what my aunt told me. My aunt used to take her around St. Petersburg, and they do all these history tours, hire guides to like walk them around, tell them the history of the city, etc. And then in a history lesson in school, the teacher asked a question, and she like put her hand up and answered the question, and like her answer was right because my aunt and her then checked it in a book later, and the teacher went, "Yeah, no, that's not right."
Really?
And then since then, she was like,
doesn't
just killed her confidence, and it really knocked her confidence. And she didn't like the subject,
disengaged,
even though she loved like learning about it with her mum.
Disengaged.
And she was like she disengaged, and that just sort of, I'd say maybe like ruined it for her. I don't know. So it's very important. I think mentors, you have to go and hunt them out. I was really lucky. I was super super lucky that Paul saw my potential, and then took me on board and worked with me, put up with me. Was patient. Don't get me wrong. We've had some,
clashes,
but it's all part of the process. And if you don't have that, then it's not really a mentor.
I
You
think
know what I'm saying?
in any relationship, I'm sure the same is true with your wife. I'm sure the same is true with any of your best friends, right? What makes the relationship is not that you never clash. It's how you handle the clash when you do clash and how you get through it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that someone with experience understands that, and you know, they've been there. It's not their first rodeo. You know, they've been down that road many times. But so now, what's your thoughts about raising kids in the UAE versus the UK? And I ask you this, I'll try and lead it somewhere, because I've had friends that lived here that moved away from here because it was too safe and they felt their kids were in a bubble and they're not going to be street smart. What's your thinking about that?
Well, they're having a damn better life than I did. Right? So I don't think they'd be, at my level now, yes, they could have a similar life or the same life in the UK. However, I feel that over here, we all do say that, oh yeah, you know, it's such a safe, you know, so safe, you know, and it is. Street smartness you can learn off your parents, right? And things are still going to happen to them here. You know, that okay, they're not going into parks where you've got tramps sitting under a bridge. And they got to like run through there quickly. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that they're avoiding. You know, you're still going to get groups of boys picking on other groups of boys in the park. Do you know what I mean? You're still going to get that. You're still going to get, you know, somebody doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You know, so you still get it. It's like what street smart level are you trying to get them to, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to teach them to be, you know, gangsters and handle serious situations, or just be wary of what is out there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And also, I still think when we go traveling and you go to other countries, like the culture shocks are going to make them remember things.
Yeah, totally.
You know, much more than them living there and sort of seeing it every day and it just becoming numb to it. Like, for example, like when we traveled we went to Georgia skiing, and then there was an old lady, like really, really old lady, begging on the corner. And I totally forgot about stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously my kids are too young to notice that, but then they would see it, you know, you'd explain to them about it, they would understand. Yeah. So I think growing up here is absolutely amazing. Yeah. You know, amazing. Like, okay, it's a bit hot. For maybe 3 months of the year where it's like a little bit too hot, but the rest of the years are, you know, great. There's desert, you know, city,
so many activities
water.
To do for kids.
There's so much to do. I think
all the amusement parks as well.
Yeah, I feel like as a person here, I think you would actually develop more because you have so many more opportunities. And also I think the like-mindedness of people here as well, or at least in my circles, where everyone is, progressive. Yeah, everyone's trying to progress, get better. If you want to toughen your kids up, stick them into jiu-jitsu, stick them into boxing, Muay Thai. Do you know what I mean? Because that skill translates wherever you go.
Totally.
So it's, I don't believe that going back to the UK is going to give them a better
street smartness.
Smartness. Do you know what I mean? I think, again, there's so many things you can take them to that can teach them how to get over that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
And what's your thoughts on the whole digital? I mean, again, you've got 2-year-olds probably not doing so much, but I mean, the 4-year-old, is she using tablets and Netflix?
We limit it.
Yeah.
Only usually on the weekend. Yeah. Or unless if she's feeling a bit ill and stays home, then that's when she gets to watch TV. All the other times she's playing in the playroom. Our housekeepers, you know, play with them, teach them stuff. They do activities. So it's right now, because also, like, again, when we put her in front of the TV, they're like zombies. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm like going, hello. Yeah. Hello.
Well, but
and they're just like,
they're 4 and 2. Just imagine when they're 6 and 7 and 10, you know, like, I mean.
Yeah. So it's, I think it needs to be limited, but at the same time, they need to learn it and understand it and learn not to abuse it. Because I feel like if you limit it too much, it then becomes this thing that's like,
thing they try and get.
Like, you know, it's anything that's kept away from you, you want more, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I feel like it's, you know, there will become a point in time where they will have it, but it'll be controlled.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And if they're using it also in a way that's going to help them develop and grow and use the tools and not be used by the tools.
Yes.
That's the
key
thing. Yeah. Like Andy Elliott says, you know, I'm the I'm the social media dealer.
Yeah.
He's not sitting there doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Because that's what
creator versus consumer, right?
Yeah.
You want them to be the creator, not the consumer, and understand that.
Exactly.
And do you sit there and make a plan with your wife about like some of this educational stuff and you know, like what you're going to do, or is it just kind of like how does it run? Is it something like, is it a planned thing where you guys discuss, or is it just take it as it comes?
I'll be honest, at the moment I think we take it as it comes.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm always thinking about. How am I gonna get them on the path?
Yeah.
But when they're older,
On the path,
you know
to
what I mean? On the path to learning all these skills that I want them to have.
Yeah.
So that they can get them a lot earlier.
Yeah.
In life that when I had, and then even work with me to keep, you know, improving them and just making them absolute little savages.
Yeah. And what do you do from a health perspective? Because health, I don't think is taught enough. Nutrition, definitely not. Fitness, look, we have PE in schools, but I mean, I don't know if it's really done as a pinnacle of strengthening you. It's kind of like, let's come and do this activity, and some people like it and some people don't. But I think that the older you get, and if you go around the success circles, if you're learning personal development, really doing some sort of physical education, even if it's a walk, is like mandatory, really, like for just mental strength and, you know. So what's your thoughts on how you bring that into their lives and what you do? Is it something you're working on now? Or?
It's a must. It's a must. So I've personally just lost 25 kilos.
Which is amazing, yeah.
So but I've always trained. My eating was the problem, right? And I've always been a bit of a podgy kid. So I've gone through stages in life where I was a podgy kid, then I trimmed up a bit, then put a bit more weight, then trimmed up again. Then when I came here, got into business, stopped training for a while and put on a lot of weight. So I definitely do not want them
to go through that.
To go through that. I always worked out though, so I never really I was still active, but I was just very heavy. So, but now I've got this whole new sort of training, I would say, outlook. Like before, I always wanted to be like a bodybuilder, huge muscles. I thought was the thing. Now I just want to be functional.
Yeah,
you know. But I think that also comes with age, and also not understanding about what's actually fit.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And this is where I think martial arts are an absolute must and should be done from a young age.
Yes,
So jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, or boxing. Boxing's been a really big part or integral part of my transformation this year.
Oh, really?
And I always wanted to do it as a child, but my mum, she was a psychiatrist. She was, you know, get punched in the head, and she's, you know, being a woman, she was against violence. So I never
developed that as
like
a kid,
she wouldn't take me.
Right, gotcha.
So, and I tried to go myself, but I had to get on about 3 buses, you know, be late in the evening, coming back home. It just didn't work out. So, but martial arts, 100%, I think should come in from a young age. Boys, girls, you know, to be able to, you know, there's discipline, there's training, cardio, confidence, because being so close with people, you know, getting, you know, swung at, there's no ultimate confidence builder, I think. So, and then also getting involved in school is obviously get involved in as many sports as you can, as long as they don't affect, you know, your studying. But maybe you find out that your child is, you know, an amazing athlete. So then maybe now I need to actually pump more time into this, nurture this, because this could be their chance into, you know, the big leagues, their stardom, and change their life. So it's, but yeah, fitness is super important. What they don't teach you those is nutrition.
Yes.
And I think nutrition is, you can do all the training that you want, but you can't, you know, out-train a calorie surplus. So food, I think, is really, really important.
Yes.
And for them to be taught and shown how to eat, what to eat, for it to have, you know, for performance instead of, but again, how do you put that across to kids that are not, you know, into sport I think is a very difficult and tricky
Yeah.
situation. Whoever comes up with that would be a billionaire.
For you dropping seeds. Of course, that's why we've got Elysian Minds. It's quite funny. I've had a few people on the podcast already. Everyone keeps plugging it, which is great because we love it. Yeah. It's more, this is more about bringing awareness to parenting, but it is look, very proud that we've got a solution that does bring these things to kids.
But can I just say something?
Yeah.
It's not so much the kids. I think it's the parents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you see families where everyone's overweight.
Yeah, well,
the parents
look,
are overweight, the kids are overweight.
There's an evolution of education, right? And so it's like, look, if you've grown up in a poor family, then no one's necessarily taught you money because they didn't know how to teach you money. And if you're lucky enough, you find a mentor that does teach you, or you learn to come up with something, you know. But for me, a big part for me, I had my first success without a mentor, where I had a level of income and I had a level of my success. But my bigger wealth was generated from having mentors and being around people like Tony Robbins. So those things taught me stuff that no one else could teach me because the teachers didn't know how to teach it and my parents didn't know how to teach it. And the same is going to go for food and nutrition, right? So I think if your parents are fit and they've got a fit body and they're looking after themselves and they're in the gym and they're eating healthy, probably by default they're going to bring the kids up that way because it's an important value to them, right? But sometimes if the parents haven't got that, then who's going to teach the kid? And so the kid is going to be the what's it called?
Product of the environment.
Not just product of the environment. I was going to say, no, it's going to be, what's it called? Something breaker.
Bloodline breaker.
Bloodline breaker. They're going to be the bloodline breaker, right? They're going to, there's the opportunity is, if the parents didn't have the wealth and the parents didn't have the fitness and the parents didn't have the good relationships, how can we then educate the kids and empower them with the tools essentially that's passed down from mentors in a way, that's taught the right way to do things that has worked, you know? I want to ask you, because we've got to come to a close, but you're ahead of the game in as much as, you're an entrepreneur, you're here, your wife's an entrepreneur, and you've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. What do you think like, there's one key thing you could hand over as a bit of advice, knowing what you know now and how you've evolved and how you're handling your kids? What's one piece of advice that you would give them to somebody who's about to to have kids, and just some things to be aware of that you think, being down the road, you think is important?
Tricky one.
Find an Amy. Find yourself an Amy. She'll take care of everything.
Yeah. Oh, what to tell them? Well, oh man. This is a tricky one.
No
There's
pressure.
a lot of things, right?
Yeah. Well, just think of one of them that comes to your head.
There's
whether
a lot
it's
of things. I would say definitely it's be present,
right?
Because literally I have not been present as much as I would like to be. So, and again, everyone always says this, but I just did this 8-hour challenge in the mountains, and at one point, I don't know why I started thinking about it, but I was like, I just remembered my daughter's face sitting in the car next to me, like looking over at me from her car seat, and I was like, I'm never gonna see you like this again. Do you know what I mean? In like a year's time, you're gonna be a different you. I'm never going to have you like that age. Do you know what I mean? Because as they grow up, they change. And they're going to become lots of different little humans along the journey, and they're going to be so different. So that particular, like this moment in time of like being with them, it's like you so really, precious. It really is. So, and I was like, maybe feel a little bit emotional when I was up there. I don't know if it was the altitude or it was 8 hours of hiking, but yeah, I was like, I've really got to make more time to be present, and like, and when you are present, be present. You know what I mean? Like Andy's taught us, know where your feet are. Like, don't think about other stuff when you're there. And it's so easy. Like, I'll get your phone out in the like dinner table. So now I'm like really trying to. This is something I'm really trying to work on. So if you're a busy dad, and and you've got businesses and things like that, like it's still going to be there. So like get at least an hour. Get an hour, but make quality that hour quality.
Yeah. Quality over quantity. Yeah. I think that when you go and do these like walks, or especially a walk or like a long hike, and you get a chance to be with yourself, and you're not so distracted, you're a bit more in nature, and you got time. And that, like, I imagine marathon. I've not done a marathon, but I've done like I go for a 5K run. It's great thinking time for me. Like, my head is so clear.
I love it.
And you connect with yourself. And I think that the reason you're getting that vision is it's you connecting with yourself, because when you're in a day-to-day grind, you're not connected. Yeah, you're disconnected. And so doing that is not just good for your health, it's good to reconnect with yourself, and it brings back things that are important, and you get to become intentional about what you want to do. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, 100%.
Phil, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed it. I know we've
yeah.
got some great little nuggets. I really, really thank you for being with us. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.